Physical Therapy, and today I wanted to kind of do a video on just reviewing why physical therapists or why people use foam rolls. In particular, why we use them kind of in our practice as well. Foam rolls is for those that gotta go to the gym and kind of do a lot of running and just a lot of activity. Foam rolling is kind of a staple, and it has different purposes. A lot of times people that are doing like running or going to CrossFit or boot camps, a lot of times you're using foam rolling for overuse injuries, that in particular muscle problems that get really tight from running or jumping, a lot of repetitive activities. So like if you got like a knee issue, they'll foam roll the quad, foam roll the but sometimes we actually use it for other areas as well. A lot of times people will use it to kind of release their back, in particular the mid back. I'm not real big on using the foam roll for low back. You can, but it doesn't tend to give people the relief they're kind of looking for. And oftentimes when I'm using it for the back, I'm using it mostly for mid back or neck, especially for neck issues. Mid back as well. So, and the thing about the mid back and the neck is they kind of go hand in hand, meaning that there's a lot of research showing that when you have neck problems, that you will get a lot of relief when you kind of actually will do thoracic mobility as well. So I'm going to kind of go over some of the thoracic mobility things that we show people. And oftentimes when I'm having neck pain, I usually almost always start with mid back anyway, because it's a little bit more comfortable, especially if your neck's really hurting. Some of the range of motion exercises or neck exercises, stretches you do will hurt too much to get much out of it. So it's always good to start in your mid back and kind of move up to your neck. Okay. So one of the more common ways that people will do foam rolling on their own for the mid back is kind of having it this way, kind of like in a 90-degree angle from your spine. And what they'll do is get down on it and kind of roll back and forth in their mid back, and it can feel pretty good. I'd say if you're really flared up, it's not going to feel great. But if you're not flared up and you're just kind of tight, it's a great use of the foam roll to kind of move your mid back and you roll it up and down. You can usually find some muscles that are tight to try to kind of release. Okay. Now, oftentimes when I'm seeing people as far as a new neck or mid back issue, I'll do a little bit different approach to try to help just start the process of getting some movement. Okay, so again, I use this a lot for neck problems and for like postural issues as well. So I usually start this way, where you kind of move the foam roll a little bit up and down, where you can just kind of go along your spine and just lay on it. What we're doing with this is it will help some muscles. You can actually kind of roll it side to side to get a little bit of rhomboid, kind of thoracic muscles to release a little bit. But for my purposes, I'm actually trying to get the joints of the thoracic spine to move. So oftentimes when we're having neck pain and mid-back pain, we're kind of slumped over and slumped forward because we all work postural jobs. So we want the joints of the mid-back to kind of move. So oftentimes just laying here, letting your pecs kind of stretch out because they get tight from postural strain. Just letting gravity work to kind of straighten that spine out and kind of let it feel good, okay? Now, what I'll do after 3 or 4 minutes of that on a daily basis, I'll put my arms down by my side and actually reach up over my head. Nice, easy stretch and come back down. I do like 15 to 20 reps of that. The reason we do that is because that mid-back, especially right between your shoulder blades, that's an area that gets really tight and it really impacts your neck. And that's a hard area to self-mobilize or self-move. And so your shoulders actually, once they kind of reach all the way overhead, that last little bit of shoulder movement actually comes from your mid-back. And doing the shoulder reach and the foam roll at the same time gets that mid-back to kind of stretch a little bit more, so it should feel good. So I just do like 15, 20 reps of that. You can actually do like angels as well if you want to. That's another way to do it. Now, if I got somebody with a neck problem, I'll oftentimes get them to start some of their new neck exercises here, where we'll do chin tucks, which is a very classic physical therapy neck exercise to work on. Sometimes I'll do neck rotation here. So that way we can get some mobility through your neck, hopefully in a more pain-free way because you're laying down without gravity pushing down on you. You can kind of get some movement early on. Okay. Lastly, I'm still trying to focus on thoracic spine. That will also help your neck. So I like to roll off, and I like to do kind of somewhat of a yoga move where I put my hand underneath and roll it through and back. And I'll do 15 and 20 reps on that on each side. Usually feels really good. It's called thread the needle in yoga, but again, we're doing it more therapy style where we're doing reps and not really much of a hold. I'm just going for self mobility of getting some thoracic rotation. It feels really good. Okay. This is like a basic regimen that I get people maybe the first day of starting therapy. Foam rolls are relatively cheap. I like this long one because you can do anything on there. If you get a short one, you can only do like your legs, but the long ones you can do your back, you can do your legs, you can still do that. This is a 6-inch one. I prefer the 6-inch because it's a little bit more sturdy. You can come at 4 inches, but they don't seem to kind of work as well. If you don't have one, actually, what I've recommended to people before is use a pool noodle. They're cheaper. They're not as solid because this foam roll is going to be a little bit more solid. But if you just don't have anything, a pool noodle works. And sometimes I've had people, a guy gave me this idea once where they cut the pool noodle kind of down one side and kind of wrap it around another one so you get it bigger. To kind of at least be able to do these exercises here. You can get these on Amazon for like, $30-40. It's pretty cheap. I do prefer the ones that's kind of also smooth and not bumpy because the bumpy ones are kind of intense and most people don't really need that. So this is my favorite one. It can be 3 foot long, 36 inches, 6-inch in diameter. You can usually get them pretty cheap on Amazon. There's tons of apps out there to get them as well. So hope this helps. Again, it's just a beginning part of getting your neck, headaches, mid-back kind of under control as far as from postural stress, which is the most common reason people have these problems. So if you have questions and you'd like to actually get this better with more individual treatment, you can look at our website, physicaltherapylouisville.com, request a free visit, phone call. We specialize in chronic pain and people that have long-standing issues. So give us a call for a free visit. It's a 502-509-3136 in the Louisville, Kentucky area. And hopefully you can find some free resources on our website as well. So hang in there, and hopefully we'll see you soon if you need us.